What's up, y'all, and welcome to the very first episode of the Mike Podcast. That's Mixed in Chat. I'm your boy Javi, here with my boy D-Lo.
Yo, what's up?
And we are going to be talking about TikTok bans, SEC tournaments, Twitter talk out there in those Twitter streets, the NCAA, and some bills and laws going on right here in Kentucky. So sit back, get comfortable, and let's talk about it. Let's get right into it. On Wednesday, the House passed a bill to ban TikTok in the United States because lawmakers feel like it possesses a threat to national security. They say that the TikTok's parent company, ByteDance, could be faced with a hand over data type of policy with the Chinese government if the Chinese government decides to enact their intelligence law against the company. Y'all, TikTok has over 170 million Americans using the app, and this bill could cause millions of Americans to be out of money as far as selling their products on the TikTok shop or going live and making money off of just being live. What do you think about that? I think it's crazy.
I think it may be a disguise on what's really going on over here, but at the same time, what makes them just do TikTok? Why don't they think it could be other social medias?
I see what you're saying because there's a lot of other social media outlets that come from overseas. They're not talking about Facebook. They're not talking about Instagram because those are American ran companies. Even though like Russia's used those to like kind of mess with the election too. So it's kind of like, so you just gonna do it to TikTok? But the kicker is like, they say that if it passes through the Senate, that it gives TikTok 5 months for ByteDance, which is their parent company, to sell to a different entity. So if they were to sell and be ran by a different parent company, then they'll let them live. But if they don't sell, then they're going to shut them down. Which the owner of TikTok is Singaporean. He's not even from China.
Yeah.
So his argument is like, I'm from Singapore. Like, this is my company. I'm a Singapore native. Like, this has nothing to do with China. But they feel like since it's a China-based app, the company that it's based through is China, then China has say-so in taking the U.S. Americans' data or their information and using it against the U.S.
I mean, it seems like they've been doing that for a while anyway, so... I mean, it just something just sounds fishy to me, man.
Yeah, I completely agree. I will say that some TikTok creators and even Beijing, China are arguing and voicing their opinions all over social media, not just on TikTok, but on Twitter, which is, X, which is formerly Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all over the place. Some users are saying that it's not even about China. It's more about they're trying to control the narrative of what's actually put out there through video, as far as how much we're seeing of the wars that's going on in other places, and the American government's not able to control it. And then China even put out a statement saying that it's just flat out bullying.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I think it's just the wool being brought over our eyes on really what's going on here, and they're putting their problems out on other things.
That's true.
So
my biggest idea of what I think is going on, I think is because the Americans are taking their money elsewhere and making money elsewhere, and it's not being funneled through the American government. It's been
they've been doing that for years.
But it's like now that TikTok is giving them the opportunity to put their whole entire business on TikTok and sell solely through TikTok and make money off TikTok, America's not able to capitalize off the money that's being made through the app.
Yeah, I mean,
so I feel like America's trying to get greedy in that sense too.
Oh yeah, but like I said, a lot of companies, I mean, from anywhere from Nike to, so forth, and been outsourcing to other places. So
hey, another thing that was crazy about it was the fact that back in the day when this whole ban first came up, Donald Trump was all for it. He was all for like, yeah, let's ban it, let's get it out of here. But nowadays he's kind of like doubling back, like he doesn't have much to say about it, which I don't know if it's because like some big wigs at the TikTok community have something to do with his campaign, or if he's more for TikTok now because he's able to see that it's gonna write his narrative for him too, as far as like in this campaign he's able to get more knowledge of his campaign out there through TikTok or whatnot.
I mean, it's the propaganda though. I mean, they there for a while he was for China, and then when coronavirus happened he wanted to blame it all on China, and then everybody else wanted to blame stuff on China, and it's just, I mean, what's really going to happen besides another war?
Right. And speaking of Donald Trump, we can go ahead and get into this right now as far as the politics go. We obviously, in America, obviously sees that it's going to be Donald Trump and Joe Biden in this next election. And that is just what it is. But at this point, it's just going to be, who are you voting for? Which person do you feel like is the lesser of the two evils, so they say? I'm kind of up in the air. Like, I don't know who I'm voting for, whether I'm voting for Trump or Biden, because I can see the good and the bad in both of them.
Well, the problem that I see that's been with Biden, it's not that it's policies. It's just, when you have a house divided like it is now, no side wants to come to an agreement.
Right.
And actually make the country work.
And then it's the fact that the sides are so divided because the narrative from the previous election is still weighing heavy going into this election.
I see it. I mean, honestly, I've seen, I don't know what's going to happen. If Trump loses, we could be headed to a civil war. If he wins,
same exact thing.
Same exact thing.
Same exact thing. And the thing is, I don't think that, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think that Trump himself is racist by any means. And I just feel like...
But he didn't deny the whole hanging out with the Proud Boys and all that.
There are racists within that, but I don't feel like Trump himself is racist. I feel like he's only hanging out with the Proud Boys because the Proud Boys are for him, and they have a big following. So he's going to go where those...
There's a lot of racist groups that need to be put on the local terrorists.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I don't think that Trump himself is racist. I think the people that he puts himself around maybe, but I can't say that he is, because he also, if you look at it, he doesn't just have all the white people voting for him. He's got black people voting for him. He's got Asians, Indians. He's got everybody voting for him.
He does know how to push the narrative to get other voters.
He does. But who you surround yourself with and how you speak and the things that you let come out of your mouth, because he has no filter. And this is coming from a black man. And I'm not going to lie, I voted for Biden last term because I was like, how would I vote for somebody who is an entertainer? And then you go and look at it, it's kind of like you vote for somebody that's been in politics their entire life, so they know how to speak politics. They know how to persuade politics. And then you look at someone who doesn't have any of that and has risen to the occasion. It might not be the occasion that we wanted. He might not be saying that we want him to say. He might not be walking the way we want him to walk or talking the way we want him to talk. But both of them have promised things that they can't follow through with. But both of them have promised things that they did follow through with. So it's kind of like both of these men are evil as and corrupt as we know that. But who do you vote for in this instance? Because like you said, if you vote for Trump, you might cause a civil war. Or it might become a dictatorship. Or if you don't vote for Trump, you definitely gonna cause some civil uproar.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see in November.
I guess, and that's just, I don't know, it's just something just seems bad about it. I mean, everybody's like, well, he's a businessman, but he's also how many $1 billion in debt?
I mean, but who's not in debt? This man just has billions upon billions and makes billions upon billions. So, of course, his debt is going to be a lot higher than ours. We don't make nearly as much as he does.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, that's just the way the tax is set up. It's just for people like us, so.
Yeah. But speaking of Trump, Elon Musk reposted something from Rogan on Twitter talking about pretty much that he would vote for Donald Trump over Biden because Biden's on his way out. And look at how diverse Biden's party or Biden's backing is. And he thinks that it's just like it's just like a showcase of diversity, and he's not for it. Like, what does that even mean? Like, I mean, Joe Rogan, you can be for Trump, But what's with the discrimination against like the diversity? Like I don't get that.
I mean, it could have been a clickbait thing. I mean, he could have been. I mean, he's
Elon
always
Musk?
he's always known for saying outrageous stuff. Whether if I think he believes it or not, it brings in the crowds because they're waiting to see what he says next.
Yeah, but at the same time, you don't want to completely like sabotage yourself as far as like saying something that derogatory about diversity. Like your whole entire industry that you've built is diverse. So how do you speak negatively on diversity when diversity is what's making your money for you?
But I mean, at this point, most of his followers are Trumpers. So,
and that's true. But you also got people that look up to you as far as MMA and all that. That they may or might not be Trump supporters, but they're diverse.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong.
Like you can speak on a reason that you would vote for Trump over Joe Biden and make it not about race.
Yeah.
Like, is it because you don't want Kamala Harris to be president? Is that the diversity you're talking about?
Yeah.
I feel like that's what it is. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but that seems like that's what it is. But if she's qualified to be vice president, then she's got to be qualified to be president in some sense.
Yeah.
Like she's working the back end of what we don't see. All we see is what Joe Biden's doing. We don't see what she's doing.
Even Joe Biden, he was a vice president. So
yeah. So I mean, let's be real. It just is what it is. But I just feel like he kind of like put his foot in his mouth when he said something about diversity when your whole entire career is built on diverse people.
Well, I mean, but at the same time,
even if they are
at the
white,
same time, he built his own popularity on putting his foot in his mouth. So,
well, that's true. That's true. But let us know what y'all think about everything from the TikTok ban to the Trump and Biden race for the 2024 elections. Let us know what y'all think in the comments. But we'll be right back with another topic. We're going to get into the SEC when we come back. So stay tuned. Welcome back, Mike listeners. And this is your boy Javi, but I'm turning it over to D-Lo so he can get low with the SEC tournament and the NCAA. What you got?
Man, some crazy things happened. So, Kentucky finished 9th ranking in the regular season.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, they end up being 2nd in the SEC tournament. So, that had their first game against Texas A&M. And the first game, they lost.
Oh.
Yeah, so
where was it at?
It was down in Nashville. They always hold the SEC tournament.
Oh, I did see like the sea of blue that they posted all over.
They always show up, and that's kind of on my bucket list to go down there and watch it. So
that's why DoorDash wasn't popping like it should be.
Yeah, you're right about that,
man.
But so they lose to Texas A&M for the second time. The first time they lost in overtime. Which, for some reason, the lineup that Calipari keeps wanting to go with is they keep having Wagner and Edwards in, which Wagner, I think he's better coming off the bench. He's quick to get those few points for you, and then get back on the bench. I think they need to replace Wagner and Edwards with Reed Shepherd and Dillingham, because they take a little bit, but they're consistent.
So is Kentucky still like going through that whole phase where it's like the first half of the game they just kind of like play around, and then the second half they want to go hard? Is this how it is?
Yeah, pretty much. And then like Edwards, he was doing pretty good until he got hurt, and then all of a sudden it seemed like his confidence dropped.
Man. And
then you have Bradshaw and Enzo, they're not strong enough down there in the paint.
So do you think his confidence drops because he see that his other teammates isn't up to part of what he's doing? So
no, it's mostly like maybe he's scared of getting hurt again. That time off kind of puts you off rhythm.
Got you.
So there's a number of things. Like when I got hurt, because I tore my ACL and my PCL when I was 13 years old.
Or could it be because his injury's kind of like rearing his head, like he's starting to feel a little pain?
Well, and that could also be the case, because like I said, when I tore my ACL and my PCL, there's steps that I'll take even now, and I did that when I was 13. Like I'm 37, so
You still kind of feel
and
it.
there's still steps I'll take. I'm like, I don't know about that, or like
hesitation.
I'll get on the court and I'll start running, and I'll be like, well, last time I did this, I messed myself up pretty bad. So it's always in the back of your head.
Right.
So, and I mean, he probably needs a little bit more work to get his lateral quickness up. The pop he had in his jump, like stuff like that.
Man, so you said that they're going into SEC number what?
They went number 2 for the tournament. Now in the NCAA tournament, they're number 3. So they didn't knock off that bad, and they got into a decent bracket this year. Because we usually get in kind of those harder brackets, especially here past, because we lost in the NCAA tournament. So that kind of puts us further down, and it puts us in a harder bracket. But our bracket this time isn't that bad. We're number 3, so I'm not really arguing.
So do we know what bracket that number 3 seed falls into?
Yeah, we are in the South region bracket.
Okay, so is that our region? Since we're the South? Or is
it kind of varies. Sometimes it will, we could be in the West region.
Okay.
It can vary on how other teams are put.
Okay.
Like I think Auburn is in the Midwest bracket this year, and South Carolina's in the Midwest bracket. So I mean, it kind of all differs.
Okay.
The number 1s though are Houston, North Carolina, Purdue, and UConn.
Oh damn.
And so, but we got on the bracket with Houston, which could be a little problem with us later on down the road. But I just want to get this first game over with and see what they do.
So the SEC tournament's over.
Yeah, it's done.
Who won?
Auburn.
Did we get beat by Auburn?
Yeah.
And then you were like, I bet you Auburn wins it.
Yeah.
See, you jinxed us.
I didn't jinx it. I just know the way it's going to roll. Because, like, after Tennessee lost, I was like, yeah, Auburn has a pretty good chance of winning it.
All the Kentuckians out there.
Hey, don't put that evil on me. Don't put that evil on me.
D-Lo's the one to blame.
Don't put that evil on me.
No, because they'll come for you, though. They will. The Big Blue Nation.
Hey, I love my Cats. Don't listen to him. Don't listen to him.
We were rooting for you. Oh, man. But at least we got a good little spot in there.
Yeah, and then also, too, Kenny Payne, he parted ways with Louisville. Which, I mean, in my opinion...
Bring him on back to Calipari.
I'm full welcome if he wanted to come back as assistant coach.
Yeah.
Also, too, Jerry Stackhouse got fired from Vanderbilt.
Oh.
Yeah. So, and he just signed a big extension
before the NCAA.
Right before the season started.
Dang. So all these people are just up and bouncing before the NCAA.
That's the thing, though. Even in the NBA, coaches get let go for nothing. Like it's hard to put accountability on players nowadays. It's all about the coaches. And I mean, I'll admit there's some things that I don't like Calipari doing. But at the same time, I'm still going to put and say that if our players ain't playing like they should, then it is what it is. A lot of people, they want to put blame on the coaches. They want to put blame on the refs. I will admit that there is some refs that probably don't like us, but then they do call some bogus calls.
So as far as you can see right now, what games are you interested in? Like, oh gosh, I can't wait to see this.
Oh man, see, and that's the thing though. Like, there's quite a few games maybe that I'm interested in. I definitely would, like, especially on the women's side, and I will say this because a lot of women don't get taught, but the women's side, I really hope we get to see an Iowa and LSU matchup. Because
why?
Angela Rice, she's a beast. And Caitlin Clark, she's probably about one of the best scorers in NCAA history.
Wasn't there like a brawl or something that happened with the women that like somebody that was one of the huge girls pushed down another one?
Yeah, it caused a whole bunch of things. I didn't actually see it, but yeah.
I seen the little thing on TikTok in X, like the little video of her shoving them down.
Yeah, that guy.
And she's a beast. Yeah. She didn't even use that much force, and those girls just tumbled.
Yeah, I think she was actually from South Carolina, but Yeah, so those I know on the women's side that's a big game that
I heard a 1-game suspension came out of that for somebody.
Yeah, you're right. I think they did. I think they actually suspended the girl from South Carolina.
Yeah.
But also too in the NCAA world, the one thing I want to touch on is the NIL.
What's that?
So it's where it's the players' likenesses rights.
Okay.
So it's basically like college players can get paid for their likenesses.
So like in video games and stuff like that?
Video game, well, they haven't had an NCAA video game since probably early 2000s. They do need another one. I miss it. But basically like they can sell their own shirts and get paid for it. Okay. You know, like even last year Tshiebwe had his deal with Donato's, and they had a cutout of him in the stores and stuff like that. Okay. And most of them do pretty well. I thought honestly it would end the one and dones, because if you're going making, you know, six figures in college, I mean, why would you want to leave? Especially
at least until you like get that good money in, and then you like, okay, I feel like I can go ahead and step up.
Well, and another thing too, everybody's looking to go high picks because it's big money. But at the same time, if you're going to the high picks, that means you're going to the crappiest team in the league. So you kind of got to look at what the situation is better, you know, what you want to do. Do you want to make that big money and kind of have a uphill battle to win with? Or do you want to go to a good team and actually almost be in a fast lane championship team? But the problem is with the NIL right now is you got a lot of politicians that's trying to regulate that.
See, America trying to capitalize off of some other shit that they ain't got no business capitalizing.
Yeah, so I mean, that's my problem with it. Just let these kids have fun, make their money, and then when they get to the NBA, then do something about it. Yeah, but let these kids make their money while they can.
That ain't how it works. The government's always gonna want their cut up front, off the top, and then we gonna worry about them later.
Yeah. So keep in tune. Like I'll keep up with the NCAA tournament.
All right, y'all. Well, that was D-Lo on his take on what's going on in the NCAA and the wrap up of the SEC. I'm still mad that Kentucky got beat out. Like, I was really looking for that.
Yeah, me too. But I mean, if they do make a good run in the NCAA tournament, then I'm kind of happy with the loss.
Facts.
So,
all right. Well, we gonna flip it right on over into a little bit more of Twitter talk as far as we're in the is Kate. And when I say Kate, I mean Kate Middleton when we come back. X, formerly Twitter, has been in a frenzy trying to figure out where Kate Middleton is. She hasn't been seen or heard from since December of last year. She had surgery, and then she has just kind of like fallen off the grid. She hasn't really posted anything on her social medias. She hasn't made any appearances, although her husband William has made several appearances. She has not. And then on Mother's Day, or prior to Mother's Day, this image comes out of Kate apparently sitting with her 3 kids surrounding her, and turns out that there's like so much editing done to this picture. If you look at the picture closely, the daughter's skirt on the right side, left side of the image, looking at it, the skirt kind of looks like it's too big. Like it's just a lot of different photoshops done to it, photo editing done to it, and then all these big entities that have posted this image has recently taken them down because they say it's like overly done. Like the editing is very like obvious. Like the picture should not, they don't know who edited it or anything like that. Why are we so concerned with what's going on with this lady's pictures? What's going on with this lady? We are all the way in America.
I mean, it's always the big thing with the royal family. You know, they're always going to be in the limelight. It's always fascinating what they do. I get it.
But aren't these like glorified nobodies? And not to throw shade or anything like that, but they don't have any type of power, right?
I think
Like they can.
Is it William that actually does have a chance for the throne?
But the thing is, even holding the title of king or queen has no power. It's not a monarchy. It's still ran by the prime minister. The queen can call up, or the king can call up the prime minister and be like, "Hey, I think this should happen." But they don't actually have like governmental like powers.
Oh, see, I don't know how that works nowadays.
Yeah, I don't think they have any powers. They just are just like the glorified face of England, you know? But anyways, so then Kate apparently comes out and makes this statement like, I've been dabbling in amateur photo editing. As you know, it's never perfect, but it was me who done it, supposedly. But anybody could have wrote that. That's the argument. Anybody could have done that. Like,
everybody loves a good conspiracy theory. I mean, it's kind of like them saying that, like, Beyonce, Jamie Foxx, and there was somebody else that they keep saying that they're clones.
Yeah, that's another thing. I actually kind of believe that's possible or is happening. I'm not gonna lie. But before we get into that, let me finish this, because we can talk about that too, all day. We can save that for another episode if you want to, because that's this whole segment by itself. But, so, the image in question is Kate sitting in the chair with her 3 kids around her, the 2 youngest to her left and to her right, and her son behind her with his arms around her head. So what looks to be distorted is the son that's behind her, his zipper on the left side of his jacket is cut off really short. Like, it's like the zipper just zips like an inch and stops. Her head, Kate's head, is big in the image, like way bigger than it should be. Also, to the left of her is her son. Well, to the left of her in the image, if you're looking at the image, on the left is her son. His fingers are like set on this center block, and his fingers like are crossed in like a wishing luck type cross, and they're like kind of like pressed weird. The patterns on his shirt are off. Kate's hand that's wrapped around him is blurry. On the opposite side, her daughter, her skirt is off, and then it's a couple of other things. But like, if you are looking at this image that hard, you are looking. That they say don't go looking for something that you're not ready to see. Don't go looking for something because you might find it.
And you're definitely going to find it.
And you are definitely going to find something. But my thing is, Kate's brother has taken vacation and he's went out on vacation. Do you really think that he would be on vacation if something was going on with his sister? I don't.
No.
And then I believe it's Kate's sister's boyfriend dies. And Kate doesn't show up at the funeral, but William does to pay their respects. My thought is, okay, Kate's at home resting. She just got out of abdominal surgery. Just like William's father is resting because he just had surgery from cancer or
now,
whatever.
When you say abdominal surgery, what kind of abdominal surgery did it say?
You know how the royal family is very vague. She had some abdomen problems, so they gave her she had abdominal pains or whatever the case may be, so she had surgery. Days later, it was like she was coming out of the hospital, but only William saw coming out of the hospital. Like, it's I see where the, oh my God, where's Kate is coming from, but why are we so invested in where Kate is? Like, can we figure out where the people that are missing in America, the children that have come up missing in America and been sold for trafficking and all this other stuff, can we figure out where they at? Can we figure out where all our money is going instead of to the homeless people that are sitting on the streets begging for food? The people that don't have housing.
Yeah.
Like, can we figure that out before we start worrying about what's going on with some royal family that got all the money they could ever ask for no reason?
It's like I said in the previous statement. Something always has got to draw attention away from something else.
Has to. So there's a bigger thing going on then. If that's the case. This is a distraction to something else that's going on. Is it the cloning? Is it a distraction from the cloning?
Probably. I mean,
are the clonings becoming more obvious? Is Beyonce outgrowing her alien suit? Her alien suit on the inside of her zipper is too big, so they had to redo it with a clone.
I mean, I don't know about all that.
I mean, you know she's dabbling into country music, and they having an uproar about that. So maybe her clone is the one that really wanted to tap into the country.
I guess so. I mean, whatever it is, they need to shut that down.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. I'm
And
kinda
she didn't
feeling her
just dabble
country.
in the country. She went full country.
Full country, but she's from Houston, Texas, which is kind of like the country belt of the United States.
I mean, there's a way to do that though. When you go off a certain type of music for so long,
yeah,
and you built that image for so long,
but I
you
kind of
gradually do that.
But you got to see that it is a gradual thing. If you listen to her songs, hear me out. If you listen to her songs, they're not just full country like Dolly Parton country.
Well,
they kind of teeter on the line of what she's doing and country music. So it kind of meshes them together to where it fits both the modes.
Okay, well, I'll be honest. I only heard that first single.
This ain't Texas.
Yes, that one.
Ain't no hold.
And that one right there, that I think you probably should have went with something other than that one.
So you got to listen to 16 Carriages.
Okay.
And her whole album drops on the 29th of March. So this will give you the feel for what she's really bringing as far as her version of country. Because I don't think that it's like... And I think a big argument is it doesn't sound like country. But what is country? Like, country is how you identify. It's your feeling of country.
So country has gone through its phase. I mean, I grew up in a country family.
Well, if you think about it, black
like,
people brought country.
I ain't saying that.
Let me.
Yeah, I ain't saying that at all. Not at all.
We not go down into
yeah,
that.
we
That's
ain't
a whole
doing
argument.
that. And I grew up around country music, all types. Like I grew up around bluegrass, country, old country, like that. I'm gonna grab me a beer and cry type stuff.
Yeah.
Well,
I dug my key into there's different versions of country.
See that actually right there, that is pop country.
Yeah, and she's bringing like an R&B country is what Beyonce's bringing.
Yeah, and like I said, I didn't hear none of that on that first single. Like that first single, I didn't hear none of that. I heard straight went to full country type stuff.
I don't think you heard the full thing. I think you heard a snippet because if you heard the full thing, she says there's a whole bunch of like poppy / R&B type of vibes to it. I feel like you got to hear the entire thing all the way through, but you really got to hear 16 Carriages because I feel like that song, that single, is what we're gonna hear in her version of country. And I'll bring y'all some more on that because I'm a big Beyonce fan, and the whole clone thing. We gonna dive deeper into that because I'm really intrigued by the
yeah, because I mean it's almost like the Immortals.
Yeah.
So,
and then you hear people saying like, "Oh, that was my alter ego. She's dead now." Like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Is Sasha Fierce dead? Like, was that the old Beyonce and we're experiencing the clone now?
I mean, it's just like how Jay-Z keeps saying he's killed off the persona Jay-Z for a while.
Yeah, he's Hove.
Yeah.
Like, did y'all just put them in a box and put them in the closet and freeze them for 1,000 years and bring them back later? Like,
almost like Steve Rogers.
Yeah. Or Futurama with Fry.
Yeah.
I mean, like, what's going on? But yeah, there's so much going on in the world that could be covering up other stuff, could be controversies of their own, but that's all that we have for this episode of the Mike Podcast. Unless you have anything else, sir.
Actually, I do want to take a moment real quick and give a kind of almost a personal thing. My cousin died a week ago, so I kind of want to dedicate this episode to him, Samuel Alexander Fraley. So,
all right, moment of silence for your cousin. All right, y'all. Well, that wraps up this episode of the Mike Podcast. Just a quick reminder or a quick notation, y'all. Make sure y'all are looking at your local bills and the state bills that are going and laws that are going to affect. We've got two of the big ones that y'all need to pay attention to. That is the new marijuana laws that there was a bill introduced on January the 30th of this year, kind of going over regulations and who to sell, who can purchase, who can be employed, and different things. And also There's another bill as far as wages and hours, going over what they can and can't pay you wages and overtime for. So make sure y'all checking those out. Those bills are HB 420 and HB 500. If you're not familiar with the HB, that's House Bill 420 and House Bill 500. We'll dive a little deeper into those next episode, but until then, this is Javi and
D-Lo
signing out.
Peace.